What is up, guys? Marty here with another medieval review. This is more of a first impressions review as always because these games are in early access, so I don't want to give a hard and final review straight out. This is just my first impressions of a game in early access. So today we're looking at something exciting, a brand new ARPG, Last Epoch, developed and published by 11th Hour Games. And I gotta say, this is a fantastic time to be an ARPG fan. We've got Diablo 4 on the horizon, Diablo 2 Remastered is in beta, I think. I've seen some people play it. Path of Exile 2 is showering us with trailers looking amazing. New leagues to the normal PoE as well are coming out. If you like ARPGs, consider joining the Medieval Army Discord. I'll link that in the description. Got a few people there who play. I'll probably play this some more on stream as I have been doing, and some of the new PoE League. So yeah, feel free to join that. Everyone's welcome. We're a good bunch. Links in the description. However, these new and exciting ARPGs are very far away. So I was looking for something new. And rather than play through season 23 of Diablo for the 23rd time, I guess, I want to shout out KiraTV, a much bigger YouTuber than I, for this recommendation. I haven't tried this game for a while. It's been out for nearly a year, but I haven't tried it because the price is quite expensive for an early access ARPG. But he talked me into it. He recommended it, and I'm happy he did. Credit where credit is due. Check him out if you're into MMORPGs and cynical British humor. He's a good guy. So I'll link him down below as well. So, Last Epoch, what is it? Is it fun? Should you buy it? Is it a broken early access mess or a solid game that just needs more content? Let's go through it all below. Broadly, what is Last Epoch? I'm going to timestamp everything, by the way, so yeah, you can jump around wherever you want. Last Epoch came into early access on Steam in April 2020 and has released a lot of content, fleshing out new chapters of the game, adding, improving and balancing their characters. And it plays like most others in the genre, really. You pick a character, you progress through the prologue, and then each chapter, similar to Diablo 3. The difference here is there's an era system, so kind of like time zones. Throughout the story, you'll get the opportunity to travel through these portals to different time zones. So you can be fighting dinosaur monsters in a prehistoric era to some post-apocalyptic, end-of-the-world future era, and everything in between. And the zones and maps you play are spread among these different eras. So you get a real... Think about like, I don't want to keep talking about Diablo, but think about Diablo 3. You have like the normal world, you have heaven, and then you have hell. You fight Diablo, you fight the angels. They've got all that variety, and you have a similar mix here between the three different eras, or I can't remember how many eras there are. So yeah, let's break the game down to its areas. I'll explain how they work, and I'll give my opinion after my time playing. So first up, the characters. The characters in Last Epoch are a real delight because they do something I really like. And that is specializations. So every character can specialize into one of three specs. So some games do something similar with gear or skills, and you spec into a certain gear type. But in this game, it's very similar to how like an MMORPG works, like World of Warcraft, where you can be a druid, you can spec into a shape-shifting animal, a nature healer, or a mystical damage dealer. And it's, if you're familiar with that, you'll really get attached to this because the characters do the exact same thing. Once you hit the fourth act, you have to choose a spec for your class. So due to this being an early access, not all specs are completed and available, but right now we've got the following 5 classes. The Acolyte, which is one of my favorites. You can spec into a Warlock, Lich, or Necromancer. Warlock's not available right now. You'll hear this a lot as it's early access. So you can choose between the Lich or the Necromancer. I turned mine into a Lich and literally had a spell that turns you into the Grim Reaper. No joke, it's incredibly fun. The build plays off having low health, cursing enemies, and I'd highly recommend giving it a try. Super fun. I haven't tried the Necromancer, but she does have like summons of like skeletons and stuff, so I assume you're specking into that route. Next is the Rogue. You can be a Blade Dancer for upfront DPS, or a Marksman with arrows. The third slot again is Lock. That's the Falconeer. No idea what that's going to be. Super cool class next. Another one I've tried is the Primalist. This was the first thing I tried. I played it as soon as I downloaded the game on stream. You can go Shaman, where you're like a nature damage dealer, Beastmaster, where you summon raptors, tigers, and more animals. I turned mine into the Druid, and he got the ability to transform into a werebear, which is like a werewolf, but a bear, right? Think like WoW, the bear form. Really cool idea. I personally didn't like the playstyle, but it's a stunning idea. Your HP goes through the roof, and you can just take on everything. Really, really fun playstyle, just not for me. Next was the Sentinel. Very cool idea. It's like a knight, and you can go Paladin or Void Knight. So basically, Dark Paladin or Good Paladin. There's also Forge Guard. Not too sure what that spec is, as I haven't really played too much. I only played like 15 levels of this class. And finally, you've got the typical mage. You can go Runeblade, Sorcerer, or Rune Master. He seems to be the least developed out of the 5 classes, and I haven't tried him yet. so I can't comment there. Overall, I love the classes and the class system. I think they could take more risks with the rogue and the mage as they feel the least unique. But I mean, we haven't seen the third spec for them both, so they could have some really unique playstyle that's really out there. I'm hoping every class seems to have something that's really unique and like a little bit out there, a little bit different. I'm hoping they do the same with those two. There's a lot of potential here. I'm going to talk about the skills as well because they're crazy. But yeah, the classes alone feel really good and feel really different. Highly, highly positive of this system. Next up, I want to cover the skills and stats in Last Epoch because they're very different to how most other ARPGs do it. I'd say that it's completely unique. If you've played something similar, let me know, but I haven't. And I've played most big ARPGs. So you unlock skills from leveling up, of course, and then you have a branching skill tree. Nowhere near as advanced of like Path of Exile, but there's something special. You get a skill tree and you put points to unlock additional skills. As you put like 10 points into it, you'll unlock your next spell. And then once you spec, you have a separate skill tree for that spec, and leveling up that will unlock more skills. But the really unique part here is you can pick a skill and basically master the skill and start morphing that skill. So for example, on my primer list, I chose to specialize in the skill Savage Leap. And after putting all my points in it and like going around the tree and looking for different things, I found this one. When I leap, all my pets would leap with me, which is crazy cool. So you dive over, it's like a Savage Leap from like Diablo. You dive through the air and crash down and all your pets jump with you. Such a cool idea. Another example of something I've tried is on my Lich. I had a spell that summoned like ghosts. By specking around with it, I got the ghost to fear the enemies. I got them to spawn on the enemies instead of me. Throw spells at the enemies as well, and deal different kinds of damage. Really, really cool stuff. You can spec into a spell, increase its damage, increase its area of effect, change the damage type, change what it does, and you can spec down a certain tree to get a certain thing, and then pick a different skill and spec to something that would complement that. So say, I'm being quite broad here, but you'd pick a spell that's say a freezing spell, go down the tree and find something where you turn the ice into fire, and then you'd go down another skill tree and you'd find something that increases your fire damage, or like every time you deal fire damage, summon a fire monster, something like that. And you can create these really cool builds by finding these little areas in the talent trees of each spell. Huge fan of this. I think the closest thing is like PoE's gem system, because the gem system mixed with the PoE skill tree did give you a lot of diversity. But the way they've done it here, it feels like it's definitely more beginner friendly. I mean, the first time I opened the PoE skill tree, I just closed the game and Googled for like an hour. Whereas here, you can just start messing around. You can respec whenever you want. It's really good. If you like ARPGs, for this reason alone, I would give this game a try. It's my favorite and coolest feature of the game, and it's something that's made me make a lot of different characters and I want to try lots of different builds. I haven't been Googling around, best build for this character, because I just want to try them all myself. Next up, I want to talk about the actual gameplay. If you like ARPGs, this is everything you've come to expect. Some bugs here and there, some polish needed with a couple of spells. Overall, it plays great. Fighting mobs feels impactful, smashing the ground and they fly away. You throw a fireball, they catch fire and react. And the bosses are awesome. I found a really cool challenge most of the time. I rarely felt like it was too easy. Every now and again, you'd get like some really good drops and you'd blast through a few levels, but then it'd quickly equal out back to normal. I never had really good gear, so I was never dominating that much. I did equip the wrong weapon at one point and had a real challenge. But yeah, the game is definitely challenging. The aesthetic of the game is like dark and eerie. It's much more like PoE than Diablo. It's not very like fun art style. It's really gritty, and I like the edgy style of game. Really like it. You get 4 spell slots, which in my opinion, I wanted one more. I don't know why. And then you get the left and right click. So it's basically the same as Diablo. You get 4 skills, modify those skills, and a left and right click. Maybe the builds I had big cooldowns because I always just wanted one more button when everything was on cooldown. But nevertheless, the combat's great. Tons of spells, tons of variety. Aside from being an early access with a few bugs, the gameplay absolutely slaps, and I've had a great time. I think I was playing a game on stream. I was playing this on stream a few weeks ago, and I was playing a different game for like 2 hours, got a bit bored, so I thought, I'll play some Last Epoch. And I just fell into a time hole. I just turned my brain off and just fell into a complete black hole of time, and 3 hours had passed, and it was like middle of the night. I had no idea what was going on, but yeah, that's what you want from an RPG, right? You want a game that just sucks you in, and this definitely does it. And then I'd go over some of the other systems that I haven't really covered because, like I say, early access, and I've not played 100 hours. I'm not at the end game. Like, I've not delved deep into the game quite yet. I've put like 20 hours into the game across multiple characters. So yeah, the areas I've not really covered are the crafting system. There's a full crafting system. It works a lot like a mixture of the blacksmith and the kunai cube in Diablo. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. How you can like use things to morph things together and enhance your items. I definitely want to try more of that, but I've not had the need to really because I'm just picking up drops and they're working fine. From my understanding from watching other streamers and other videos, the end game ends at 55. Like I say, I haven't got there yet, so I can't comment. I do want to make a full review once I hit the end game. But my understanding is you have a rift star system where you have to conquer these echoes. There's also an arena mode with Zergian waves of enemies. And according to the Last Epoch website, there's a lot more coming towards the end game. This is obviously still in development. There's a gambler, much the same as what you have in Diablo 3, where you buy randomized items of randomized quality with a currency. And there's lots of other smaller niche things in the game that just make it feel a little bit different to anything else you've played. The final thing I want to cover is the price. And this is the only negative I'm going to mention in this whole first impressions review, because I think they've dropped the ball here just a little bit. I buy games to review all the time, so I don't mind blowing money on a game if I can get a video out of it. I'm lucky enough to have a disposable income to spend on games, and if a game is £30 and I only play it for a few days, it doesn't bother me so much. If that's something, you can only buy one game a month, and you're considering this, you might be put off by that price because that's almost a AAA price. Maybe not AAA, but AAA after a year. But yeah, it feels like a lot of money. It's £28 on Steam, so like $35. And I just struggled with it for some reason. It just felt a little too high. And I think I've realized why it feels too much money. And one is because it's an early access. So it feels like you're spending a lot of money on a game that's not quite finished. And second, I suppose it's just because of the competitors in the area. I do want to say the game is worth £28. Given the amount of fun I've had, how much I've played it, and the potential of this game, I 100% don't regret buying it. And I would recommend it to everyone who likes ARPGs. I just think it's difficult when you think of something like PoE is like the biggest competitor. It's completely free. It pushes out huge updates all the time, expansions all the time. And I really struggled to pay £28 for a new IP that isn't finished. But I've recommended it. The only reason I say is I've recommended it to a few of my friends and they won't buy it because of the price. They say, yeah, this looks really good. But they just don't buy it. If this was cheaper, like $15, it's worth more though. That's the issue. They'd probably buy it. I think they're going to struggle to sell it at this price when the biggest competitor is free, which sucks. But guys, prove me wrong. Tell me you bought it, you love it, you're enjoying it. Because, yeah, I think the price just didn't sit right with me. I did buy it after being recommended it, and I fully support the game now. But that was a big hurdle to get over, in my opinion. So, my overall summary. First impressions of Last Epoch in early access. The classes and subclasses are some of the best I've ever seen in an ARPG. I love picking like a classification and speccing into that, and then speccing into certain spells and being like the master of 4 different spells, rather than having interchangeable spells all the time. The world and story is awesome, jumping from prehistoric to weird world-ruining features in all the different time zones is so cool. The gameplay feels as smooth as you would expect from an ARPG. It doesn't only meet the expectations, but it has its own individual style above what you would expect. Picking flaws, the game does still have some bugs, and the price feels a little bit steep compared to its competitors. However, the game is in early access, and every day from now, patch on from here, the flaws will be removed, and the game will just keep getting better and better and more value for money. I'm really enjoying the game, both on and off stream. I'm going to keep playing it for sure. I've recommended it to everyone in my Discord. Everyone who joins the stream and goes, hey, what's this? Looks like PoE. I just tell them to buy it. It's incredible, buy it. And the same message is said here. The game is incredible. It's a real hidden gem. Not enough people are playing it. Not enough people are talking about it. So yeah, get involved. If you like ARPGs, highly, highly recommend it. I want to get fully invested into endgame and sport of choice because I also want to finish all the different characters and pick their different specializations, try the new skills, try all these different builds. Yeah, so hugely invested. I'm in the Discord as well, chatting to people about it, like the Last Epoch Discord, as well as my own. So yeah, game is amazing, even early access. Highly recommend getting it now. If the price puts you off, wait until it's finished, because the value for money is only going to go up, or wait for it to go on sale. It has been on sale before. I did check on the Steam pricing change thing where you can see if it's been on sale, and it has been on sale before. Hopefully it will go on sale again. If you like ARPGs, there is definitely a lull right now between like the big boys, you know, the Diablos and the PoEs. So definitely this scratches that itch. Other than that, guys, as always, thanks for watching the videos. The channel is growing every day. I'm seeing more and more people join the Discord and come chat with us all, and even join the streams. So thank you all so much for all the support, and I'll catch you in the next one.